Welcome to Football with Cheese. So in yesterday's video, we did the make or break reasons for all the 16 NFC teams. So today we're going to do the same for the AFC. If you did not see the NFC video, I'll link it in one of these boxes at the end. I'm also going to link my breakdown of the Micah Parsons trade, how it affects the Cowboys and Packers. I also write articles for PackersTalk.com. I'm about to release an article going into more detail about how Parsons specifically will change the Packers defense. So that link will be in the description. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss a video. And if you did not see on the Sports True podcast, my buddy Mike started it. We do it every Tuesday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Central. We did all the NFL predictions, division winners, awards, Super Bowls. So make sure you check that out. Also, link in the description. All right, let's get into it. We are going to start with the AFC South. Houston Texans. What could make them? Pretty simple. C.J. Stroud plays well. He returns to the form he played as a rookie. You know, he took a step back last year. There were O-line issues. We'll talk about in a second. So, yeah, C.J. Stroud has an amazing year. They finally get over the hump. They seem to make the playoffs, win one playoff game, and then lose the next round. See if they can get over the hump this year. What could break them? The offensive line. Like I just said, they traded Laramie Tunsil. They just wanted him out of the building. I guess not a good locker room guy. So the offensive line is still questionable. Arante Ursary was second-round pick. They like him a lot from Minnesota, the tackle. Indianapolis Colts. What could make them? Well, they have a lot of good skill position players. You got Michael Pittman, possession receiver. Josh Downs, slot corner. Alec Pierce, your deep threat. Adonai Mitchell, uber talented, second-round pick last year. Tyler Warren, absolute steal. And Jonathan Taylor. So you have a lot of talent. So what could make them is if Daniel Jones plays well. It's the deepest group he's ever played with. What could break him? I think it's the offensive line. It's been one of the better offensive lines for years, but Will Fry's the right guard, left in free agency, so did their center, Ryan Kelly. And second-year players, Tanner Bortolini, he'd be playing center, and Matt Goncalves, I believe that's how you pronounce it, will be playing right guard. So if those two struggle, it could really hurt the offense. I don't know what to do with the Colts. I think they could win 10 games, and I think they could win 5. Somewhere in between. So, I don't know. If Daniel Jones plays well, they could compete with Houston for the division. Jacksonville Jaguars. What could make them is if Trevor Lawrence finally lives up to the hype, plays like a first overall pick. No more excuses for Trevor Lawrence. They got an offensive head coach in Liam Cohen. They drafted Travis Hunter. It's not all Trevor Lawrence's fault that he hasn't played well. There's been O-line issues, lots of coaching changes. So it's not all been his fault, but he still needs to play better. What could break them? The defense had so many breakdowns last year. What I mean by that is I rewatch a lot of film in the offseason. To me, they missed a ton of assignments, just more defensive breakdowns. I'd say they had that more than any team. I think some defenses gave up a larger amount of big plays, but it's not because of breakdowns or missed assignments. I think Jacksonville had a ton of those. Ryan Nielsen, maybe it just didn't work with him as defensive coordinator. Anthony Campanile, I don't know if I said that right. He's the new offensive coordinator. I think is a good pick. He's a very good linebacker coach. So I think they upgraded there. Titans, what could make them? If Cam Ward has a Jaden Daniels-like impact on the team, he won't be as good as Jaden Daniels. He doesn't have as much talent around him. But the Titans need to outscore people to have a successful season. What could break them? The O-line has just been terrible for years. They signed Dan Moore to play left tackle in free agency. He's never been that great. Peter Skoronski is a first-round pick at left guard. He's been a disappointment. So what could break them is the O-line could still be terrible again this year. Let's go to the AFC East. Buffalo Bills, what could make them? Josh Allen is, well, Josh Allen. Plays like an MVP. Shows he still doesn't need number one receiver. What could break them? The defense doesn't improve. So they gave up 32 points to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game last year. That was the biggest problem to me because the Chiefs didn't have a great offense last year. You can't give up 32 points in the postseason to a team that doesn't have an elite offense. And in the draft, they focused on defense. They went cornerback, defensive tackle, edge, defensive tackle, first 4 rounds. Now, the corner was Maxwell Hairston. He was a first-round pick. He's hurt right now. But the Bills need their defense to improve if they want to get over the hump and get back to the Super Bowl. It's been, probably 30 years since they were in that game. New York Football Jets. What could make them is Justin Fields hits his ceiling. Very talented quarterback. He wasn't bad for the Bears. They traded him because they had the first overall pick and decided to take a quarterback, Caleb Williams. But Fields just needs to trust himself more, throw the ball on time. He just likes to hold it and throw it late, but he's got a lot of talent. What could break them is if the offensive line collapses. It's a good young offensive line with Olo Fashanu playing left tackle, Armand Membu playing right tackle. Both were first-round picks in each of the last 2 seasons. But they're young. Fashanu had some injury issues last year. If they struggle, could be a long year for the offense. And Elijah Vera Tucker is already out for the season. They're outstanding right guard. New England Patriots. What could make them is all the offensive upgrades. They added Stephon Diggs, wide receiver, Morgan Moses play right tackle. Then in the draft, Will Campbell to play left tackle, Travion Henderson running back, Kyle Williams wide receiver, Jared Wilson to play in the interior offensive line. That's a lot of upgrades. Offense should be a lot better for Drake May. What could break them is, despite all those, the offensive line just doesn't get much better, and Drake May's running for his life or getting hurt, or Stephon Diggs shows his age. I don't know what to do with the Patriots. Just like the Colts, I could see them winning 5 games and winning 10. There's a wide range there. Miami Dolphins. What can make them is, I'm going to try to be as optimistic as possible about the Dolphins. If you watch the Sports Truth podcast predictions, Mike and I are both not high on the Dolphins this year. But maybe the offensive line and the cornerback room are not terrible. That would be how they make it. Those units look really bad on paper, but maybe they're not terrible. What could break them? Just the roster has just gotten worse steadily over the years, and their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, has concussion issues. Tyreek Hill's a year older. There's so many reasons that could break them. If you were to ask me, of all the head coaches in the NFL, who is more likely to get fired, I'd say probably Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins. He's pissed off a lot of veterans, and I don't think the Dolphins are going to be very good. I think they're going to be last in the division. Let's go to the AFC West. Denver Broncos. Reasons they'll make it. The defense looks incredible on paper. They added Jahdae Barron in the first round. They need another corner. I think it's the best defense in the NFL. What could break them? If Bo Nix regresses at all, started off slow last year and then took off and was outstanding for a rookie. Most years he would win Rookie of the Year, but Brock Bowers and Jayden Daniels were there, and Daniels is the one who won it. So Nix, I don't even know if he finished in the top 4 or 5. There's so many good offensive rookies. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Lad McConkey. Golly, there were so many good offensive rookies. So, yeah, if Nix regresses at all, kind of like C.J. Stroud did, that's probably the only thing that can break him. I think Denver's going to be very good this year. Kansas City Chiefs. What could make them is the offensive line improves. It's been a big issue the last 2 years in Kansas City. They won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Despite it, it was a clear issue in the Super Bowl last year. They got dominated. What a slaughter that was. They added Josh Simmons to play left tackle in the first round. He only fell because of injury. Looks like he's good to go. What could break them is they stopped winning all these close games. They seem to win every single close game. Whether it's great coaching, or Mahomes is clutch, or Travis Kelce just is left uncovered, or the refs, whatever. That would be the thing that could break the Chiefs. They just seem to always find a way to win close games. If that doesn't happen, they could be in trouble. Chargers. So what could make them? They drafted Amarian Hampton, running back, in the first round. Trey Harris, wide receiver, in the second round. Those two become playmakers. The offense improves. Despite losing Rashawn Slater for the season left tackle, that hurts. The offense is still okay because those two players become playmakers. What could break them is the defense. To me, they overachieved a little. The numbers make them look better than they were. No more Poona Ford, underrated nose tackle. No more Joey Bosa. The cornerback room just looks very weak. So I just think the defense isn't nearly as good. And if you watch the prediction show, I had them 10-7 and just missing the playoffs because of that defense. Las Vegas Raiders. What could make them? The offense is significantly improved by adding Geno Smith. If you did not know, Geno Smith struggled in the red zone in Seattle. Even though his numbers look good, he's played well, he just hasn't been good in the red zone. But they drafted Ashton Gianti. Look for him to get a lot of carries in the red zone. And the Raiders' offense could be much improved. What could break them is the defense just isn't very good. You have Max Crosby, he's a stud, but the cornerbacks look bad. I keep saying that. I did that with some of the NFC teams too. But the cornerback room on some of these teams is just bad. I feel like offensive line and cornerback steadily have gotten worse. I'm going to have to do a deep dive and look into that and find out why. But those two positions, to me, just have gotten worse over the years in the NFL. All right, one more division left. It's the AFC North. Baltimore Ravens. Reasons they'll make it, I mean, the roster is just absolutely loaded. And the defense was behind the offense last year, but they're both, in my opinion, top 5 units. They added Malachi Starks, safety, in the first round. Mike Green, edge rusher in the second round. Both should make immediate impacts this season. Really help out that defense. What could break them? It's hard to find something that could break them. But if I had to pick something, I'd say guard is their biggest weakness. Both guard spots, you're probably getting average at best play, maybe below average. I guess if all the positions in the NFL you had to be weak at, maybe guard, although I don't think you should be weak anywhere on the offensive line. But you do have a quarterback can run around. But really the Ravens got to get over the hump in the playoffs. They seem to beat teams in the regular season. In the playoffs, they struggle against them. Like the Buffalo Bills, they whooped them in the regular season, lost to them in the playoffs. They've done that with the Chiefs as well. Pittsburgh Steelers. Reasons they'll make it. I think the defense could be amazing. They added Derek Harmon in the first round. T.J. Watt's healthy. Last year, they collapsed at the end of the year. And one of the reasons was T.J. Watt was not healthy and not effective. And it really hurt the defense overall. Most people forget, but they were in first place in the division most of the year. They just lost their last 4 games when T.J. Watt got hurt. And what could break them? Let's talk about Broderick Jones. He's their left tackle. He was a first-round pick a couple years ago. He has not played well in his first 2 seasons. And you have old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. You've got to keep him upright. So I think that could break him. They have a young offensive line, but Broderick Jones needs to step it up this year and play better. Cincinnati Bengals. This one's easy to me. What can make them? They have Joe Burrow at quarterback, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins at wide receiver. That is one of the best trios I've seen since maybe Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, and Reggie Wayne. It's that good. They're going to score a lot of points. Offense should be really good. What could break them? Pretty simple again. The defense. It was horrible last year, even with Trey Hendrickson leading the league in sacks. He is a very good player. They don't have another player on defense that is very good. So the defense needs to improve. If it's as bad as last year, they still can make the playoffs, but they won't be a contender. All right, one team left. The Cleveland Browns. Save them for last. There's a lot of reasons that could break them. They just don't have a very good team, but I'll go with one of those quarterbacks, because we know Joe Flacco's not going to play the whole season. One of those rookie quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel or Shadur Sanders, one of them plays well, looks like a franchise quarterback. That's what could make them. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to be very good. But as long as you know that one of those quarterbacks is the guy, then they will have a successful season. That's basically what the fans really want. What could break them? The defense looks good on paper. You have Myles Garrett, one of the best players in the game. You drafted Mason Graham, Carson Schwarzenegger, really like those picks. So the defense looks like it's going to be pretty good. What could break them is the defense isn't good. If the defense gives up a lot of yards, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL because the offense just isn't very good. And listen to their schedule. This is their first 6 games. Bengals at home, at Baltimore Ravens, Green Bay Packers at home, at Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings at home, at Pittsburgh Steelers. 5 of those 6 teams made the playoffs last year, and the Bengals just missed. So That's brutal. They're going to be favored to lose probably by at least 5 points in every single one of those games. The schedule does get easy in the middle. Let's say the Browns are better than we think, and they're still in it with 4 games to go. Probably not, but you never know. Their last 4 games are at Chicago, Bills at home, Steelers at home, at the Bengals. Brutal. Once again, they're going to be underdogs in all 4 of those games. So, there we go. Now, I'm recording this before the Cowboy-Eagle game tonight. Well, I guess it was last night because I'm publishing this on Friday. I hope the Eagles win just because I picked them in my Survivor League, and I lost in week 2 last year, which kind of sucked. So, that game is already over. Tonight, I think the Chiefs win a close one. It's the Chiefs. You know. Don't need to get into it. They'll find a way to win close ones. That's what they do. I hope I'm wrong. Okay. So, you know what to do. Subscribe. Hit the bell for notification. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Share this with anyone who loves football as we continue to grow Football with Cheese. Check out the podcast and my articles. Links in the description. If you have not, check these out. And I will see you in the next video.